chicken. 今も可愛い。
この試合、文句の様子に、お前はリズの外に出て、リズワードで投げてくれ。
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Ocean Cyclone Show here on the Reser YouTube channel. I almost said podcast network. That's not a real thing. I'm used to every other show I say podcast network, but we're back on the Reser YouTube channel. Took a extra week to get back on track. My fault. But it's okay. We are here. And if you read the title, of course, it says this is the 2024 edition of the Super List, which we'll explain in a little bit. But let me introduce my co-host at this time. Of course, welcome back to the show. As always, Trent, how are you?
I'm doing good. We are in the very the beginning of the 5-star Grand Prix, so I'm mentally preparing myself for the most exciting and difficult time of the year as a Joshi fan, because you talk about the wrestlers having to physically prepare for such a grueling schedule. The fans have to prepare for such a grueling schedule. I've got my energy drinks stocked up in the fridge. I've had to move some stuff around, like trying to make sure I've got everything lined up, because you don't want to have too much of the same flavored energy drinks in the same spot. You've got to ration everything right. These are some difficult decisions to make in order to get through this grueling 3-week period. I've got to stretch up, got to make sure the channels are lined up right. This is a difficult time of year to be a fan.
So while Trent struggles to sit down and watch TV, Ryan, how are you doing?
I am good. Been knee deep in all things Olympics. Learning new sports, loving the basketball, men and women. And
new
I
sport.
don't know if you've seen the breakdancing. This is a new thing.
Yeah, I
New to
heard that
Olympics.
was an Olympic thing, which is crazy.
I don't get it yet. I'm watching them go, and I'm like, well, that lady clearly is the winner. And then 3 rounds to the other one. So I'm not qualified to be a breakdancing judge. Apparently, I'm qualified to be here.
Expect you to be fair.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm happy you're enjoying the Olympics. Obviously, back to Trent for a second. I too am terrified of the next 21 days, so I get it. It's terrifying. It's a lot, but that's the beauty of the Olympics ending this weekend. At least, like, my enjoyment of that is now okay. You came through for me when I wanted to take my little wrestling break. Now I'm happy you're ending because I want to watch the end of that, and all the wrestling's kicking in at once now, and I'm kind of freaking out about it personally. So, I've made it harder on myself, which isn't helpful, but that's kind of what I do, so it's fine.
I'd like to think the IOC are Joshi fans, because it's very convenient that the Olympics started and the G1 was on. Like, they haven't timed the Olympics and the G1 to be convenient, but the Olympics is finishing right as the 5-star Grand Prix begins. So clearly they're my Watani fans, but they don't give a damn about Tetsuya Naito.
Yeah, you're right. The Olympics totally aren't planned very, very, very far in advance. So I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. I think you're super right. The G1 definitely didn't decide to just deal with the Olympics aspect of it. Actually, that's funny because I remember a few years ago they had to move it because of the Olympics. Anyways, different conversation. But we're back. The OCS show. OCS, just the OCS, I guess. It's not OCS show because that would be show.
Machine.
That's tough. That's on me. But as we always do, we talk about wrestling first. I know we've talked about the Olympics, and we talk about
the wrestling in the Olympics.
That's true, and we've talked about the Olympic sport of trying to watch the 5-star Grand Prix. But now we're going to talk. And I'm not going to get a gold medal. I just already know that. Maybe can get to bronze. But Ryan, what are you excited about right now in pro wrestling? You can just say the 5-star or the Tokyo Princess Cup. That is allowed. Or maybe you have something crazy. Maybe
you know me well. Those are my two. I love a tournament. The 5-star is the best tournament in wrestling. Some of the best matches of the year. So definitely that. I am very curious what they do with the Princess Cup. The results, the results side, I think, is going to be very interesting. The quality of the match won't be as good as the Stardom side, but you got Yuki Arai going far. You got Yuki Aino going far. How far are we doing? We Yuki versus Yuki final. We have the Mizunami coming from the outside. Is she gonna be a spoiler? Is she gonna just be a tough opponent for someone to overcome? I don't know. I don't have a good sense of where it's gonna go, and I like that feeling.
Mm-hmm. Trent, what are you excited about in wrestling? I can't imagine where you're going to go with this.
Well, obviously, you would think I'm going to say the 5-star Grand Prix, and that
You
does
kind
make
of
a
already
certain
did, to
amount
be
of
fair.
sense. I did,
Yeah,
but I'm actually going to
individual.
go a little bit off the board because that seems like the obvious answer. But I've got to plug my personal heart and soul here, and because it is the month of August, for the first time in 8 years, Gatto Move is going to be doing a show at Korakuen Hall, which is in the month of August 31st specifically. So I'm really excited for them. Look, I'll be honest, I've fallen a little bit off the Gatto train over the past couple of months. Just it's been difficult to keep up with wrestling, and I've had other things going on in life that I've sort of had to focus on. So I've had to ration my wrestling consumption, and that has meant I've not been watching as much Gatto Move as I would like. But I'm really excited for them. They've been working tirelessly to get to this point, and I think the amount that they've been putting in, good on them for finally being able to run Korakuen Hall again. We're getting Emi Sakura versus Mei Suruga for the Super Asia Championship at the main event, and that's been a match that I think they've been building towards for quite some time. It feels like that's Mei Suruga's moment. And I think for years now, we've been waiting for May to climb the top of the Gatto Move Mountain. What better place to do it than Korakuen Hall for the 8th year since they've been in Korakuen? So that's what I'm excited about. We've been waiting for this moment for a long time, and we're finally getting this sort of special moment. And what better sort of opportunity than to crown May as the true queen of Gatto Move?
Yeah, it's an exciting time, obviously. I mean, I think I look at that show as one of the big ones of August. That's the thing about Joshi in August. They decide let's all just run the biggest show possible. It's both a blessing and a curse. I have a few. I'm going to keep mine themed though here. While I would love to say the 5-star because of obvious reasons, who isn't excited for the 5-star? The crazy thing about the 5-star is by the time we record again, it'll be over. That's different.
Yeah.
That's a new part of this show, right? Usually we're right in the middle of it and enjoying it, but it'll be over by the time we record next. But my theme is going to actually be retirements. I'm not excited for the retirement aspect, but I am excited for the final matches of 2 Joshi legends. The first, of course, being Arisa Nakajima, who is wrapping up here this month. She did announce her final match will be her and Tsukasa Fujimoto versus Hiroyo Matsumoto and Hanako Nakamori. That should be tremendous. That's happening in Korakuen Hall towards the end of the month. Could be one of the best matches of the year just for the emotional aspect, obviously, that comes with the retirement match and the fact that Arisa doesn't look like she's missed anything since the injury. Obviously, if you pay attention closely enough, she's been protecting her neck specifically in all her matches, but I don't know. There's just something about her in the big match. I'm very excited for that. And the other one's obviously Meiko Satomura, who will be wrapping up next year, but she does kick off her retirement tour in September back in Sendai Girls. I've watched enough of her this year, aka 2 matches, to know that Meiko Satomura probably doesn't need to retire. She's still very good. But I'm excited to watch her be back. Like, I don't know about anyone else. I kind of have just accepted she's been retired for the past year because she didn't do anything, right? So this feels like the perfect gift of I'm gonna go out with a bang, and I think that's exciting. And obviously with Sendai Girls being more visible now, I can actually be fully excited for it because I know I'll see the matches before the end of 2025. So that's really cool. So those are the 2 things I'm excited about. Obviously, I'm not excited about the retirements, but I'm excited about the matches themselves. I think, this is legitimately 2 Joshi legends. I think one is one of the most underrated in the history of Joshi, and the other is, of course, Mako Satomura, who I don't think it's possible to underrate her at this stage. She's just
She would have gone underrated if she hadn't have popped up on the
yes,
WWE side.
absolutely.
That lifted her, and also doing like the Brit Res scene and kind of getting her name
Yeah.
out there. That really lifted her name up from just being kind of a Joshi name that popped up here and there in stardom occasionally. Yeah, that's what Arisa kind of would have had to have done to get her
Yep.
name properly rated.
Very similar. Those two are obviously the best of the 2000s and on.
Mm.
And I think we're losing a special kind of wrestler.
Yes.
I don't think they make them like they make Arisa Nakajima anymore. They don't make them like they make Mako anymore. So I'm going to enjoy them while we have them, obviously, and I think everyone else should too. But that's enough of that. Let's get to the rest of the show. So if you read the wonderful graphic that Trent has put us together, you might look at this and say, "Excuse me." So for anyone that doesn't remember, last year I came up with this ridiculous idea, and it was borrowed from something I once saw. I can't remember for the life of me what it was, but I saw it at a live show, and they make a list that goes on forever, and we have called it the Super List, and it's a super list of Joshi specific things, and we are ranking them from the top to the bottom. We have a list from last year. We are going to add a lot to it this year. The beauty of this show is it probably won't go too long. We'll probably cap it at a nice hour and a half because we can just stop whenever we want. But we have a big time list here to pick from. So I will remind everyone, what does the super list look like? Thank you for asking. Here is your super list. This year is a lot easier because people can actually see it. Last year, we just read it to the people. So, as you can see, very interesting crop of randomness. We have tag teams, we have promotions, we have the Tam Road. Io Shirai's moonsault. Io Shirai's moonsault was a classic. That was the classic. Is it better than the Io Shirai moonsault? That was our key part last year. You have All-Star Grand Queendom 2023, the 5-star Grand Prix tournament, Cork and Hall, and Threedom as your top three. Threedom being number one. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun with these lists. We have a lot to pick from. Some good, some not so good. Because we need to add to both ends. It's not as much as I'd love to just try to can we get anything to beat Threedom? I don't think that's fair, and I honestly don't think we can. However, this should be a lot of fun. So before we get into it, what is both of your takes on being back and doing this for a second year in a row? Already having something from previous.
It's nice having a list to already kind of try and bounce off, because I think the difficult thing from last year was trying to sort of set a baseline. And once we had an awkward baseline to work with, it was fun trying to go, well, I disagree with I know there was disagreements. I thought Choco Pro should have been higher already, but then trying to find the middle ground between Choco Pro at 11 and then Ice Ribbon at 8 and going, well, I think it's higher than this but lower than that. That's part of the fun. We're three people with varying different opinions as it is. Trying to come up with a consensus in amongst all of this mess is part of the confusing chaos. That's what makes this a beautiful mess in the best possible way.
Yeah. And there's just such a difference between some of these things. Some of them are a wrestler. Some of them are a move. Some of them are just a gimmick from a wrestler. A championship. It's worse than apples to oranges. It's apples to Frosted Flakes. You're I don't know.
Some of them are abstract
those are two different things completely. But that's the challenge to figure out where it goes.
It is. It's the beauty of the game. The game is chaotic. The game is fun, and that way we have a list that lasts forever. So let's just get to it. We got our first. I've randomized it. No one else can see the randomizer, but I'm not gonna lie. There's no real big reason to sneak these in. There's
there's no benefit to you.
I have no control once I say what it is, and that is of course the TJPW Max Heart Tournament. So we're starting off today with the tag team tournament of TJPW. believe they're on 5 years now. Daisy Monkey won this year, which obviously I feel like that's important. Maybe that helps bump it up a little bit. 1 to $1 million won last year, so this is obviously an interesting one. For those who, maybe wondering like where could a tournament land, the 5-star Grand Prix is 3rd on the entire list, so it's not out of the realm. So picking here is going to be hard, okay? Because like it's a tag team tournament. It doesn't have a long history, but it has enough history. I think it's fair if we let Ryan go first, because I feel like he's going to be the one that's going to try to talk this up to us. But I'm just telling you now, I will not put it over the Io Shirai moonsault. Got to be on.
Okay, that's the baseline. That's where we go. I'm glad it shows up this year rather than last year, because I've been kind of waiting since the inception of that tournament for it to be bigger than it was. It's just been sort of a C-level tournament. You have the Princess Cup.
Moving down the order, then Scott. He's not selling it.
I'm going to go a little lower. It doesn't have a long history. If you said name my top 5 matches from there, it's a little difficult. This year's though was the best it's ever been. That finals was the clear best match in the tournament's history. So it bumps it up a bit, but it is not one with a lot of prestige. It's a solid tournament. So probably just below the 5-star, I would say. But
based on the way,
what's your definition of just?
No. We're definitely going to go down. I see the pool wrestling match is significantly better than the pool wrestling.
Yeah, I would definitely put it over.
It's better than one single match. That's not any of y'all's favorite.
See, I think that's fair. So I think it's interesting. One of my favorite parts about this list is the Sendai Girls World Championship. Just think of what's happened with that belt since we put that on this list.
We can't.
It hasn't. No, we can't. It is locked in. I wouldn't say I would. I don't even know what I would do with it. But Team 200 kilograms is where I start to see, like, is a tag tournament run by TJPW better than one of the best tag teams in the world today?
I would put it below Team 200.
I think it's, and Trent's going to be the final decision maker here. I have no problem with it being over Unagi. And I don't really have a problem with it being over the Sendai Girls World title either. That won't make me lose sleep because it's a tournament that's gaining more steam every year. It's more interesting. But at the same time, Trent, you could talk me down here. I feel you're going to be the one defending Unagi. So, who, by the way, I don't think I've seen many matches from her since we made this list. But she did run her own show. So. And sold it out.
And a sold out Kirk and
Has
Hall.
TJPW
she
ever
alone
done that
did
for the
more
Max
numbers than that TJPW tag team, I was going to say. And she's going to run another Kirk and Hall that's going to do more numbers than that TJPW tag team tournament. Just saying. I don't know how Unagi placed below the Sendai Girls World Championship, to be honest. But to be fair, this is from last year. I may have argued for the Sendai title being above it. I can't remember.
That's the funny part. You have no idea what you decided.
No, I can't remember. This is a year ago. It's definitely not above Team 200 kilograms because, let's be honest, every tag team that's won that tournament would get crushed by Team 200 kilograms. I would be arguing for Unagi above the tournament, but I feel like I would get outvoted by you two. Personally,
I don't know. The Corkin thing kind of got me. You kind of got me back on your side here. Who sells more tickets, an entire tournament or her?
Yeah, and I think Unagi is probably more popular than the tournament. Like, consistently over the years, Unagi is one of the bigger names in the Joshi freelance scene.
I would agree with Trent there. Like, if you asked a more casual Joshi fan, what do you feel about the Max Hart? They would be like, do you mean Max the Impaler? No, Max Hart.
I'll be honest, when you said the Max Hart tournament, I'm glad you didn't cross to me before you said the tag team tournament, because that reminded me which one you were talking about.
That's my point.
That
I
says
don't
all I
think
need to know.
outside of the Teach bubble, it's not a huge
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
That
Oh,
says
you're
all I
right.
need to know.
This year's tournament was really good, and like even as someone who's not a massive Teach guy, it was a great showcase of what the tournament could be. But I feel like it had one good year and a
Mhm.
couple of good winners,
Uh-huh.
but it's not been a particularly highlight tournament. Not enough to be like above a wrestler who sure hasn't had a lot of highlight matches this year, but is still one of the biggest freelance names.
So for the people at home, TJPW Max Heart Tournament, better than the pool wrestling match, better than Club Venus, which no longer exists, better than May St. Michelle's serving tray bit, better than Mahime's title reign, but not better than Unagi Sayaka. So
All right.
that's where this
The
ranks.
eel supremacy.
Congrats to the tournament itself. You welcome to the Super List. I'm going to bold the new ones from this time around.
Smart.
Highlight them so we know what is new. So next up, and I can't believe this is happening. It feels like an attack on me. Is Stardom's newest faction, Hate.
This is very tough. I'm sorry.
How
I
are
did
we
the seal.
judging this already?
Ryan put it on the list,
We
It's
don't. They
existed
just
for like
started.
2 weeks.
and
It's
we
like
have to go based off of that.
It's the idea of it. It's the general look. They haven't done.
I mean, they do look
anything
cool.
yet.
To be fair, I will give
They
them that.
look
They do
This
really
is
look
going
cool.
to exist for years, and we're basing it.
This is the chaos part.
We can't move this.
By the way, for the people at home, Oedo Tai is ranked 9th.
Yeah.
What's below that? Obviously,
Well, yeah, no, you think
the one with history and the one with no history.
it's hard to rank it because it's ruined part of my interest in Stardom. So as of right now, of this
it's low
moment,
for you.
It's funny that you put this on the list because it's like it's an incomplete in every way, shape, or form because it's been 2 weeks, I think. 2 weeks. And by the end of the 5-star, I might want to put it under like Haruna Neko. Who knows? But we don't know yet. Like, I don't know where to put this, but this is how the Super List goes. What goes on the Super List is what we must live with the Super List. Trent, you can shake your head all you want. You signed up for this. That's how we go. Trent, you can go first. Where would you like to start the placement for Hate, starring Natsuko Tora, Konami, Saya Kamatani, Momo Watanabe, Tekla, Rina, Fuki and Death. I think that's it. And Ruaka. There we go. I always forget Ruaka.
I mean, if you want to talk about success, they're the best faction in wrestling right now. Maybe they are above Oedo Tai, who for years upon years upon years have struggled to have any kind of relevancy, even when we were rating them. So maybe
I'm telling you right now, that's not happening. So don't.
People have kicked out of Io Shirai's moonsault. Maybe it's above Io Shirai's moonsault. People have beaten Threedom. No one's beaten Hate yet for the titles.
Undefeated.
Maybe they should be above the Threedom.
Hey,
this is how we're judging this bloody thing.
To be fair, I don't really know how we're judging it. If it matters, I'm basing it off of my opinion of the group, which I don't enjoy it. So there you go.
I'm definitely of the opinion that I preferred Oedo Tai because I don't like this rebranding to such. This is Elon Musk rebranding Twitter to X. Like, why are we rebranding to such a generic name situation? But like, I've got to give him credit. I like Natsuko Tora shaving her head. That was a badass move. Okay. I'm willing to see what they do with Saya Kamatani. I don't like that everyone's gone for the full black gear look, but I also like that there's a certain sense of unity of the gear. It's such an incomplete thing. I don't know how to rate this. So I look at this list and what else is incomplete?
Sendai Girls World Championship forever and always.
Well, when we rated this, probably Club Venus was incomplete because it was so brand new essentially when we rated this. I've got more hope for Hate than I do Club Venus.
I was gonna say it's already peaked over Club Venus. It's been 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. Is it better than Tokyo Joshi wrestlers throwing themselves into pools?
Yep.
Quicker.
Okay, he was feeling that. It's not better than the Max Hart tournament, though. Let's not get crazy. that has accomplished some stuff,
It's
including
not better than Anagi.
one really good match.
All right, here I'll allow it. I'll give you both the win because one's defending Nagi, the other's defending a tournament. Hate, which has been around for all of 2 seconds.
And we write 2 weeks in, like in brackets.
Just
Yes.
to date it.
2 weeks after debut. Next year we'll do Hate 1 year after debut.
Okay, that's fair.
Just to like when this is like, if we keep this going for 3 years, we could end up loving Hate. Who knows?
Right.
In 3 years' time, might be our
We might
favorite
have to
faction. I just want
change it.
the list to recognize that.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I like that. I like the
This
idea that
is-
we can come back to something, but we have to put when the timing of it was.
Yeah, because
That's
we
better.
can't move the list one. Like we've made we can't move it.
I'm happy we could do that. I'm so happy that so much pain just happened over a group that's been around for 5 seconds.
Whew.
That's what they do. They cause it.
Yeah.
So next up, we have a championship. Not just any championship. The Wonder of Stardom Championship. So we now have a heavy hitter. We're now moving up
Yeah.
the list. I'm not even gonna scroll down.
Yeah, it's definitely
Because
over the
listen, you know what it's better than? That. It's better than the high speed championship. So
Okay,
this is as
fair.
low as I'm going. Okay. I'll make the first picture. I think it's better than the high speed championship. I think it's better than a
Whoa.
move. I definitely think it's better than Tam Road. I definitely think it's better than Choco Pro. I
Whoa,
definitely
whoa.
Hit a nerve.
I know I can't argue against you guys on that, but I got to defend my crew.
Every time it comes up.
I definitely
gotta
think it's
say
better than the group that just was slacking for the past 3-4 years. The moonsault, though. Is it better than the moonsault? Yeah, it's better than the moon. And you know why I'm going to say it's better than the moonsault? Because Ice Ribbon's
It's better
above
than
that.
Ice Ribbon.
And I have to live with that. You know, like that's the game we're playing with. And
Okay.
I think it's better than a back fist. It's great back fist.
I'm with you so far.
Dangerous Queen's where I slow myself down. I'm not gonna lie. That's where it's like,
mm.
okay, this is legendary. And I think the Wonder Storm Championship's fantastic. It has an incredible history. Obviously, some of the best have held it, right? You got the EO reign, you got 2 EO reigns. You get my point. But you have EO, Momo's reign, Arisa Shiki's reign, Saya Kamatani's reign before she got mad at Utami and became goth. I'm sorry, I just had to throw it in there. I'm trying to think what else. You get my point. It's a very important title in the history of Stardom, and many times it's been my favorite title in Stardom. And I think it's the title that we all talk about as, well, it's not a world title, but it's not below the world title. And I think it deserves that respect. I can't go over the Dangerous Queen because it's Akira Hokuto's Dangerous Queen, and that's just iconic. But I can put it over Aja Kong's Hurricane.
I think that's the perfect spot. The fact that it is, a lot of people try and view it as a secondary title, and everyone fights back on it, even though it is not the world championship, that it is still held in such high regard. And even when it's had a couple of iffy reigns, like, let's be honest, after Sai Kamatani dropped the belt, it's had a tumultuous little period.
Sure.
And I'd say, like, Saori Inu's reign was rough until she kind of went up against Miko Iwata. And even though the way that was handled could have been maybe done better, that series of matches and then eventually losing to Natsupoi, that reminded me of how good the belt can be. Even if maybe not in this pure storytelling, just in how good the matches were. Like, I was amped for every match. And, I've not been the biggest Saori Inu defender at times, but those matches were just delivering. And it just took me back to when the white belt was a main event level belt, and when it was at times a higher regarded belt than the red belt at times. When you had Momo Watanabe defending it on top of what Kagetsu was doing. When you had Julia defending it on top of Utami and stuff. So, well, I wouldn't put it above Akira Hokuto. I would put it above Aja Kong's back fist. And seeing Ice Ribbon above the moonsault just cracks me up now in 2024. But I would put it above both.
It's all of Ice Ribbon.
Yeah,
Good
it's their
time.
entire.
I know. It's just, it's so hard to remove myself when I saw Io Shirai pull off that picture perfect moonsault in Sumo Hall and
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
2024
fair.
Ice Ribbon.
Ryan, do you feel good about this placement?
I do. I might argue. The only thing I would argue might be over Akira, just because at its peak, as Trent was saying, it did feel like it was a main event belt. It felt like a huge deal. The Momo reign is one of my favorite reigns of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like so many elements to
Yeah.
one is often going to beat it. But I think if you're putting like a Joshi Hall of Fame or a Joshi Museum, the Hokuto section might be bigger. The Dangerous Queen section might be bigger than the white belt section.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we are on the right spot there.
I think it's a good
I
place.
guess for me, like the question I would ask is, would the white belt elevate Akira, or would Akira elevate the white belt? If she was to win the
If
belt
you're saying,
hypothetically,
I hear you. That's a
yeah,
great
and I
point.
feel like Akira would elevate the Wonder of Stardom Championship, so I would put it below in that
Yeah.
situation.
Now our
That's a
highest
peak.
championship, though, so that's pretty cool.
Mm.
Good list here, and we keep forward. I'm just deleting stuff from the list as we go. The custom list we have on the side. So the next one,
Super List. That's irreview. You can't delete the Super List.
can't delete that. The next one, it was on the cover. It was on the cover of our
One of two.
art today, and that was the Meltier album.
Wow.
Meltier album, which is, I believe, 3 songs. Is it 4?
Let me check Spotify,
Checks
because
list.
it is on Spotify.
It is. It is. It is.
A lot of like the white belt isn't on Spotify.
You make a great point that I didn't
It's not.
consider.
3 songs, unless you're counting like the deluxe edition, in which case I think has like some instrumental variants and stuff. But it's technically 3 songs, and it is listed as a single on Spotify. But
Oh, okay. Well, I
I'll
think it's
count it as
good.
maybe an EP.
I think it's good.
You have it, don't you?
So, I do. I do. It's somewhere behind me. I don't have it in front of me, but it's a good little CD that I enjoy listening to. I think I forget which song it is. It's not the one that they do for the entrance. They used to do it for the entrance, and then they changed it to like the slow one. But it's the one that's like they do the dance in the middle of the ring that I'm like, yeah, this is great. That's a great song. I don't know where to put an album on this list, though. I'm not gonna lie to you.
We do have a song, the Aja Kong's entrance theme.
That
could
true.
be kind of where we think it's better than that singular. So that song
I
kicks ass.
can't say it's as legendary as Aja Kong's entrance theme.
So maybe it's closer to that, but lower. Is it better than Team 200 kilograms? I'm not going to put it above that.
Get put above Team 200 kilograms,
buddy. I don't remember.
That wasn't me.
I don't remember. I've been staring at it this whole time. I'm like,
what
if there's anything I can change on this list, it's that.
Check the tapes.
I'm gonna blame myself probably.
It's better than Hate.
I could. It's definitely better. I think the album is better than. Definitely better than Hate.
No.
It's better than the tag tournament.
That's so weird.
I think it's better than Unagi Sayaka because it involves 2 successful Cosmic Angels that actually won.
Have you listened to the album more than you've watched Unagi Sayaka though?
It's probably close. It's in my playlist. Like you know, I've listened to that more than I've watched Unagi in the past year and a half. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Since it's come out, I think that album is absolutely winning. I'm not gonna lie to you. That one song might be winning.
It is a good album. I will give them that. Like when I heard they were doing the album /EP, I did kind of roll my eyes, but it is better than I thought it was going to be. And I'm a little disappointed they haven't done a follow-up.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
But I wouldn't put it above Unagi personally.
I'm with Trent. I think Unagi I've had more fun with over a longer period of time. I have more memories. I'm just questioning, do I like it more than a C level tournament that's moving into B minus tournament.
I mean, I do. I'll tell you that right now.
You're putting it above that.
Well, one of them's a
wouldn't be mad.
slog that I have to get through, and the other one's about 3 minutes long. So
the brevity of it.
yeah,
will
I can't
help.
get it over Unagi, so the most I could do is get it over the Max Heart.
I think that's fair.
All right, I'll. What a list! I like that we've had 3. We've had 4 total, and 3 of them are just
right next to
all
each
in
other.
one. Yeah, it's great. It's awesome.
That's the
all right.
spot.
Next on the list. I like that we got consistency here. We got a wrestler. Not just any wrestler. Chan Yoda is our next wrestler. I just want to give the shout out. She did hit the headbutt into the jackhammer and then tweeted, "I don't remember anything that happened." I think that's the coolest thing anyone's done this year. Not many people doing that.
Be taking advice from the Julia school of shortening our careers.
The advice of the that got her to WWE. I don't know what the frick you're talking about, buddy. That got her to the big bucks. I think going to the school of Julia and Goldberg is a very educated decision. Totally doesn't involve
her other career choices is probably stopping her from going that direction, I will say.
Yeah, that's true. She's very busy. She's a very busy woman. She's right now. I think she's in the middle of the bodybuilding stuff. She barely wrestles right now. But
She's doing another PPP though. With Risa Sarah is going to be on the next one.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. That's what we live for. We live for more.
She's the ace of a promotion, but
yes.
Yeah. Damn right she is. Hey. That's
promotion.
An ace. That's an ace.
But it is
aces are aces are ace.
I mean, she's gotten me into a promotion that I wouldn't have otherwise. I'm very excited about what she could be, but we're not judging that. What has she done? Some very good matches.
She's had a sick match.
Can we see the next solo wrestler below Unagi?
We don't have one.
Oh, there's no other one because that would have been easy. Oh, Neko. Better than Neko.
Yeah, she's above her in a naked.
Thanks, man.
Well, that's easy.
She's better than most of these things, to be fair. She's better than this.
She's better than the main St. Michelle.
She's better than the My Him at title reign. I'll say that.
Yeah.
She's better than Club Venus. That one headbutt jackhammer spot was better than their entire run together. Which is now an AEW, by the way. So if I could sync it, I would. I'm sorry. It's better than the pool match. It's better than the pool match. I'm not here otherwise.
Don't like that match.
But I don't think it's above Hate.
I can't put her above Hate. No, Hate's very
She's done more than Hate.
Well, that's true. She has, but
they have names. They have a look. But
listen. If you're not careful, it's going over the Max Heart tournament. So be careful, okay?
You talk it up too much.
You talk her up too much. Listen, I'll put her above the Max Heart. I can't put her above the song though. The song's just I mean, it's multiple songs, but the headbutt, the jackhammer.
She's done more than that.
She picked up Rossi once.
This is tough.
Multiple
The pool wrestling is too low.
No, it's not. It's too high.
If it was too low, we wouldn't be putting everything on this week's episode.
That's because of y'all. You don't appreciate good art.
And everything's beating it.
I'll remember that forever. Well, I remember Club Venus forever, Chan Yoda forever.
Yeah, I'll remember Chan Yoda forever. Shout out to the GOAT. Come on now. Pay some respect.
Probably.
You put her on the
Chan
list.
Yoda live. I didn't go and see the TJPW pool party live.
That's a good point.
That's something.
Yes.
That's something.
I think. I don't know where she's
you
going.
You said above Club Venus. Is this what you're
above the pool party?
Yeah.
Okay.
Aha! But not enough to beat Hate. Sorry,
wow.
Chan Yoda.
Those black outfits are doing some work.
I tried for you, Chan Yoda. Okay, we need to get away from this area.
Yeah, what's happening here?
Unagi has become the limit, I guess.
We need something really, really terrible or something really.
What's our own little pool party?
This is who put this on the list?
Probably me then.
I didn't.
Because if you don't
I'm not-
recognize it,
I'm not even doing this one. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it.
oh no.
Next list.
Re-
Shuri!
Reveal it at the end.
All right, well. The next is just Shuri.
Okay.
Well, we're getting away from the pool party.
Well,
We're getting away
significantly
from-
better than the.
We're getting away from a lot of things, to be fair. We are comfortably
and
at the
he's
top of it.
comfortably above Unagi's. We don't even have to go down there.
Yeah, Trent, I'm not letting you have that one. I'm not letting you have that one.
Yes.
Not letting you have that one.
Has
Shuri's
Shuri sold out Kirkenhall on her own?
I think Shuri can be the highest single wrestler on this list. Well, not I don't think. I know she's gonna be. Reading the list. Shuri's obviously incredible. I put her on a list that is among the best to ever do it. Her 2021-2022 is one of the best runs I've ever seen in my time as a wrestling fan. And obviously she has all the time before Stardom, where she was a great wrestler, wrestling quality matches against a lot of people's current day favorites from major companies. Shuri is everything I think. I think Shuri is almost a perfect wrestler in terms of if you were to build up a final boss type wrestler, it would just be Shuri. Like that's what it is. It's why we sit here in 2024, and I think out of all the wrestlers that are mishandled in current wrestling, if you're part of the Joshi sphere, most people want more from Shuri. She did so much for 2 years, and it's just been nothing ever since. She has the one IWGP title match with Mayu Utami, which, by the way, brings up a good point. Shuri is in multiple matches that I would consider some of the best I've ever seen, whether it be the first match with Utami Hayashishita, obviously that broke the scale, the one with Julia that we raved about at the end of 2022 as our match of the year, or earlier this year, her and Mayu Utami did this little thing before that show they call Wrestle Kingdom, which I thought was one of the best matches of the year as well. So, plus, all-timer tournament runs and all that good stuff. I want her as high as humanly possible. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like,
I'm not high as humanly possible as number one.
I'm not putting her higher than Freedom. But I'm gonna wait and see what you guys say about Shuri overall before I start placing her. Freedom's
easily in the top 10 because over a moonsault, right?
Yeah, definitely over a moonsault.
You guys would put her over Ice Ribbon.
You should probably put her over Ice Ribbon.
Yeah,
too, right?
I know. I'm trying to put the blame on y'all. It's better than a spinning back fist. As good as that is.
Yeah.
Then my question is, better than the Wonder of Stardom. And I'm unsure there. I don't know.
Is that rhetorical?
I don't think that's a question. She doesn't have any low point as a wrestler.
Even though the
I'm sorry. Did Shuri was Shuri owned by Santana Garrett? No.
Yeah. The low is low, but there are multiple highs for a longer period of time. Shuri's been around. I'm not saying I'm not putting her above there. I'm just
you're being
obvious.
No,
now I'm like, okay, now I'm questioning.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're willing to put her above that.
Yeah.
Then you have the Dangerous Queen,
which is the persona, obviously. So here's my conundrum. I think Shuri, the wrestler, is better than one singular event, which was the All-Star Grand Queen of 2023.
To me, Shuri's resume is better than All-Star Grand Queendom 2023. If you ask me to watch All-Star Grand Queendom 2023 or like a collection of Shuri matches, I was at Grand Queendom 2023. I would rather watch
the collection
Shuri, like 7 Shuri matches.
Which, by the way, you can see part of All-Star Grand Queendom probably in that collection, as Chihiro Hashimoto and Shuri had a great match on that show.
That's a good one.
Although that might not make the short list of the best Shuris, like the top 7, top 10 Shuri matches.
Thank God we're not making that list. I don't want to sit here and make that list. That'd be the worst debate.
So
ever.
is your ceiling then below the 5-star? Because
Yeah.
I can't see
To,
putting
to
her above
me,
that.
it's whether she's above or below the 5-star Grand Prix. I don't know if I could put her above Kirk Hall. That's kind of like, to me,
Yeah.
Kirk Hall is just so iconic that I don't think
Mhm.
I can put her above that.
Yeah.
So for me, it's is she above the 5-star Grand Prix or not?
I think she's just outnumbered by the 5-star. Like you
Mm,
put all of her matches, they're so great. But then you put all of the great 5-star matches. I think that collection is
They're all hers.
They're not
there are a lot of
all
hers, but it
There's a lot of
includes
hers.
I had
hers.
to make the joke. I had to make the joke.
Yeah.
It has
Well, I mean,
it has this great
to
legacy.
do a little bit of a plug,
Mm.
Scott and I on the Stardom Road, our most recent episode, go check it out on YouTube and the Can Out Podcast Network. We did rate our favorite 5-star Grand Prix matches. There were a lot of Sherry matches on that list.
But that's included. It's included in both of these items. Is the problem?
There are,
Yeah.
there are, yeah.
If she was number 4, I feel very confident, very content.
Mm.
It sounds like
It's-
you guys are putting her into the 3rd.
It's
spot.
really hard for me. It's really hard. Like trying to decide which is which because the 5-star has some down years.
Yeah, you got to take
And,
the
like-
good with the bad. Okay.
Yeah, like obviously Shuri wasn't the greatest, one of the greatest ever her entire career. I understand that. But if you go back to watch her matches from like, I don't know, pick the year, like she still has great matches for the past decade. Like it just wasn't Shuri got to stardom when it was great. You know, you can go watch a match from her and like Reina,
Mhm.
and you'll find a great one. And that goes to the 5-star as well. Like if you go back and find a match between them, but like for example, 2014, she went against Kana, of course, known to many as WWE's Asuka. And to use Ryan's website, his favorite website, this was 2014, 8.89 on Cage Match, 37 votes on a Reina match. You know how hard it is to find Reina matches? It ain't easy. My point is that I think she at least deserves the respect of being heavily considered. She's just that good, and she feels ageless in a way. Like there's no decline in Shuri. I watched her have a 5-star match this year. You know, it's like it's a matter of what she gets to do. The 5-star Grand Prix, I mean, we're coming off one that was, ended on a sour note. It was still quality, obviously, and there's an argument that the best match in that tournament, guess who, came from Shuri. So like, and that goes back multiple years now of like, oh, the best match was Shuri's match. So that's
I can definitely see the argument that the legacy of the 5-star Grand Prix and the grandeur of the 5-star Grand Prix gives it a certain prestige, even beyond being a tournament of itself. Maybe puts it in a superior category than just one wrestler, and you're looking at like the names that have won the tournament, and gives it more than what just one wrestler can give it. It's again, this is where you're comparing the apples and oranges thing, and makes it an interesting and compelling argument. Can one wrestler compete against a tournament like that? We've got the Freedom as the only thing that's really been able to compete with a Kirk Hall and the 5-star Grand Prix. It's tough. Like I'm on the fence with rating this one. I feel like Scott, you're leaning Shuri, Ryan. I think you're leaning tournament above. So I feel like
you make the final choice, right? Trent, go ahead.
No
I
pressure.
won't be angry either way. To be fair,
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
we're
gonna be
debating
insane either way.
greatness. We're debating greatness.
I would probably, and I might regret this in a month's time after we've seen what the current iteration of the 5-star looks like. But I feel like the tournament, there's a certain prestige with the tournament that I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt over a singular wrestler as great as Shuri is.
Fair.
I think that's fair. I have no problem with that. We're debating the best women's tournament with one of the best of the past of this generation. So I can't really fight that. And, it's funny because both of these things are still very much in play. Like,
They're
who
both going to
knows
change. And
who knows what the 5-star becomes in the
Mhm.
new world, and who knows what Shuri goes on to do over the next couple of years. So it'll be fun to look back on, but I can't hate it. I can't hate it whatsoever. That's a hell of a top 5. I think we can get a pay-per-view out there, but it's the best show for now. But let's go to our next one here, and that is Mirai's Lariat, specifically the Southpaw Lariat, not the righty one. So, which is now her finisher,
it's
by
just
the
a
way.
southpaw. Just a southpaw.
Hold. Oh, no, it's actually just the Lariat, so it's all of them. You can do all of them.
Okay,
not
that
just
makes a
Southpaw.
difference because I give her bonus points for being able to throw ambidextrous.
Yeah, well, that's true. So it does give her bonus points because it's just the Lariat.
Yeah.
So funny enough, had we done this last year, it would have been great. Obviously, it's a great move, but now it's her finisher. So now it has a more of an impact, on her matches, and I think makes this very fun discussion because I don't know, it's one of the best Lariats I've ever seen.
we love
And
a
it's a
Larry
move.
over here.
It's a move.
Yeah.
So
And I see
let's
2
start with-
moves in the top there.
let's start with our first move. Do we find it better than the Tam not going to survive screwdriver? By the way, all Lariats of Mirai, not just one.
I'm very much above that.
And Violet Screwdriver is a great move, but it's definitely
It is.
The Lariats are better. It's part of her game. I think it's what has seen Mirai make a jump in Marigold to kind of the complete wrestler, right? The more usage of them. I think it's over the Tam Road. Sorry.
Yes.
Respectfully over Choco Pro. Respectfully.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
It really comes down to Io Shirai's moonsault. And I can't do it. I just can't do it, guys. I'm sorry.
We're thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
It's so just on like a art, grace, beauty level, it's really high. And then you have to factor in it's a part of and the end of the cap of big title matches, big rivalries. It's had more of an impact story-wise, I think. So those memories come up when I see that.
Pretty cool that I could say I watched both of them on the same show this year, though. That's pretty cool. If you think about it that way, I'm just saying.
I guess if you're making that argument, one of them won a match, one of them didn't.
I don't think she hit the Southpaw one, but you make a good point. She didn't win with the righty ones, and the other ones she hit. So you're absolutely right. Is it a higher than a Oedo Tai?
Well, now, yes, because one of them's still going.
All right. Good enough. I like
easier.
I like your reasoning. One of them still exists. All right. Crazy list. This thing is. All right. Next up, as we chug along here, we got Hikari no. Oh no, Hikari Noah's International Princess Championship reign. Here she's retired.
Who put that?
It was you last year. I just took it from
Oh,
last year. Sorry, I know you're a TJPW fan. You're probably not allowed to speak about her. So me and Trent will take care of this because we obviously we're so locked in on Hikari Noah's championship reign. I like that you go, who put that? As if like she's illegal to talk about. Which I've talked to enough.
Why. I didn't remember doing it because it was a year ago.
I've talked to enough TJPW fans.
Her name on the list.
I don't think
okay.
that's necessary.
Redacted. So her title reign is as follows. She beat Yuki Kamifuku for the belt. She defended against Marika Kobashi, Raku, Yuki Aino, Miyu Watanabe before losing it to Maki Ito. Real hitter's row there.
It's definitely as the kids would say, mid. Like
I like that you just go, as the kids would say.
It's like
of the three of us, he would know because he deals with kids.
You make a good point.
The kids actually don't say that anymore. I think that's gone. There's other words.
As the kids would say back when this was a relevant topic.
Yeah, right. I think my mindset was like, let's put like a kind of blasé, like middle of the road title reign in there.
Mm.
So then I see another title reign at number. Well, it says 30, but it's
29.
really 31, 29. I think that's you start there. You say, is it above or below?
Yeah.
That one. Below. Right?
I
Let's
guess.
start there.
I mean, the Mahime title reign's pretty bad. It doesn't really happen. So if you're saying it's below, I'm going to believe you.
It's definitely in this little range, 29 to 32. Tall Joshi retiring.
So
That was
Sake
that
Kai
might be-
Himeka leaving.
man.
yeah. They were rolling
That
out.
was a very time
I think
specific.
below Tall Joshi retiring, above Oz Academy. It doesn't make me
I'm okay
mad
with
like
that
Oz
thought.
Academy. It doesn't make me like pull my hair out. It's just
Listen.
like, okay, that was some
Listen,
solid stuff.
I'm not gonna lie to you. This was all you. This was all you
Okay.
this time. There you go. That is the lowest we have so far. Is redacted title reign. Moving on. That was fun. Okay. So I'm gonna assume this was also Ryan from last year. We have Miyu Yamashita versus Mizuki from January 4th, 2022.
Have we all seen this?
I've definitely seen it.
I haven't watched it recently.
I definitely made it challenging for y'all.
Checks Cage
Let's hear
match
that.
notes. Checks Cage match notes. This is
It's very good, but not a classic.
It is
Just my general-
8.79 on. Oh, I remember this being great. Okay, no, I remember this match. It was great.
Yeah, 8, like not quite a 9, but like in the conversation for Joshi match of the year at the time, like top 10.
Mm-hmm.
But then all time, it gets pushed down. Are there any other matches on the list?
I think on this list, no.
We haven't started putting matches on yet.
Well,
This is our first match. No pressure.
Yeah.
I think it's a great match.
The Unagi line.
Yes, it's a great match.
Better than any match Unagi's had, right? Is that what we're saying?
I don't think it's
Trent
a hot
wants
take
to say he's not allowed to say that.
I don't think it's a hot take to say absolutely. I remember it being like 2022. Was that the year that Yamashita lost the belt to Shoko? I believe it was. The fact that you're not remembering this is not ideal.
I'm not good with years.
Okay,
then I signed a bunch of paperwork at work today with the wrong year, so don't come to me about the date. Why are we talking about Shoko?
I was just thinking, I was trying to remember the year overall for TJPW. So
because she lost it to Mizuki last year. She lost it to Watanabe this year. So it would have been the year she lost it to Shoko.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Yeah.
Don't let me be the TJPW historian of the three of us.
Good. The most alert and awake. Well, it is a different day for you. You're living in the future, in the daytime.
This means I'm further away from the point that this happened.
Yeah. I would say the ceiling for it is below Sendai World Championship. That championship has had multiple great matches, so it can't go past that. So I think
you put it below the Sendai Girls title, but above Inagi.
Yeah, that's my first instinct here. I can be swayed, but that's why I start.
I mean, I would need to do a rewatch to give a informed opinion on that match. So
it's a great match, okay. And with that being said, I am going to. I'm gonna say it's better than Unagi. I think a great match doesn't really hurt Unagi. I like great matches. Sorry, Unagi. The great match is more consistent than a Sendai Girls World Title reign, unless your name's Chihiro Hashimoto. But I can't go higher than Team 200 kilograms because somehow they're still below ALK, which whatever. But Team 200 kilograms is awesome. Like top tag team. We must have been angry that they weren't airing matches last year. Like that's the only reasoning.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds like something we would be saying.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like something stupid we do. And this was a great match. Like you said, it may not be the best of the year, but it was a great, top 10 Joshi type match. So I like over Sendai Girls World Title, but I won't lose sleep if you guys have a problem with that.
I'm not gonna give an opinion on that one because I'm not gonna remember a match from 2.5 years ago. I haven't rewatched.
Ryan, can you live with this?
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
great.
I mean, that's
Okay.
only
Let's
only
hope.
slightly above where I said.
Let's hope the next time we do a match, it's either a legendary match or something from this year. Oh, funny enough, we got a match.
Oh.
Utami Hayashishita versus Shuri, Tokyo Dream Cinderella, the big one, the 5.5 star match.
Okay.
Based
So it's
off
not
the
Utami
ones.
versus Shuri 1, which I did see listed on the
So I think
list.
Utami versus Shuri 1 is supposed to be that.
Yeah, because I was hoping you'd just say Shuri Utami 1. And I
No,
was gonna
no.
actually and
Yeah, no.
okay.
It's the one of the main trilogy for
Yes.
mentality type thing for the
Not
for
the
the world title.
2020 5-star Grand Prix match.
Yeah. So this is the big one. I'm gonna respectfully climb here. It's a great match. Obviously, it's one of my favorite matches of all time. It's on the short list comfortably. It was my match of the year for 2021 comfortably. It's one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. It's obviously the most highly regarded Stardom match in history, just based off of how many people watched it. And I think there is a historical aspect to this match as well that needs to be taken into consideration. This puts Stardom more on the map than really anything beyond like the natural knowledge of like Threedom, for example.
I'd say it did more for Stardom than the three.
I think so too. Because obviously Io was far removed from it by then, and so was Kyrie. And Mai was obviously doing great, but this match it changed everything. It put so many more eyes on there, and I think it has to get somewhere respectful. And I'm already over Ice Ribbon. I'm sorry, Ryan. I just have to be that
Wow.
guy. But it's one.
Okay.
Listen, it's one of the best matches I've ever seen. And I feel like if we're going to do a list of pro wrestling, a wrestling match is better than a lot of things. I understand a wrestling match isn't everything, but for Stardom, it was a lot. It was a lot. And it's also the only women's match rated by Dave Meltzer in the past 30 years, 5 or higher. So, if that matters.
Whether it should be or not is another question. But
yeah, it should be over. Like I agree with it getting the 5. I'm just saying it shouldn't be the only one.
Yeah. Maybe one of our super list things should be Dave Meltzer's 4.75 ratio.
That's absolutely going to be one of them because I think it's great. All right, so I'll let you guys go. I kind of just gave my thoughts on it overall.
Yeah. So I think the floor is probably above Aja Kong's Huracan. I think sort of above a singular move, and then it becomes a question of where it sits in terms of the championship, and then the gimmick of the Dangerous Queen, and then probably the show of the All Star Grand Queendom itself. I wouldn't put it above Shuri herself. I don't think the singular match surpasses everything that Shuri's done, partially because she's 50% of that match.
Of the story.
Yeah, but I think the match kind of fits somewhere between that sort of spot. And then I guess it just comes down to how much of the legacy and the aura of that singular match. Because I guess what it comes down to is like the match, as big as it was in 2021, It doesn't really get talked about that much now in 2024. It was not necessarily a product of its time, but it was massive in the moment, and everyone
Mhm.
kind of talked about it. It was a big deal. And then, sort of, for about a year, it was sort of the match that everyone would point to. And then, unless you're in the Joshi bubble, everyone just kind of moved on from it after that point.
Mm-hmm.
Not that that's a bad thing necessarily, but it doesn't feel like it's had the staying power outside of the bubble that I thought it maybe would have, which is unfortunate and maybe hurts its sort of legacy when we're talking in the pure upper echelon of this super list. It's still one of the best Joshi matches I've ever seen, still absolutely deserving of that 5.5 rating as far as I'm concerned, because I have rewatched it and like the one thing I was worried about was does it drag being a 43-minute match, and it doesn't drag. So I would probably put it either above or below All-Star Grand Queendom would be
Okay.
my instinct.
Yeah, it kind of comes down to the discussion. Is it an entire event that is arguably the best in Joshi history better than a match that is in the conversation of best in Joshi
Mhm.
history, obviously? And
Yeah.
it comes to which one did more, I think I think that's part of the conversation. Which one did more? Did the All-Star Grand Queendom with the likes of a Mercedes Moné wrestling on it, and the Big Mina moment, and the final major Julia Tan match, did that do more than, say, Shuri versus Utami, which obviously had the world talking? You had like Sports Illustrated, and you had ESPN talking about it. Like, I think it opened eyes to Joshi a lot, and
Yeah.
in some ways, I think helped make Queendom happen and make it
Yeah.
bigger in the long term. Without that match, who knows? That's kind of the way I look at it. So I almost want to give it the edge because of, well, does this event happen? Is this event as big without that match? I don't know, but I'm going to tell you what, I think the match helped it a lot in terms of popularity. I don't know if Mercedes Moné is over here, but that's another conversation for another day.
It's tough because Grand Queendom was very much a domestic event, whereas I think Utami Shuri grew the
Post,
international market.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I think
Yeah.
I think Grand
Outside
Queendom
of the
happens
bubble,
without
outside of
Utami
Japan.
Shuri. Yeah. Maybe Mercedes doesn't happen, but I think the event still happens without it because the growth really happened internationally from Utami Shuri, but domestically, I think it was growing regardless. So,
I think that's a fair spot for it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to overpass that because I'm thinking like if you had a Stardom museum and you could only have a display for the match or the Grand Queendom.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think you put a Grand Queendom section.
Poorly made museum, but yeah.
What is already bad?
Well, you should have both easily. If you're making a
you would have
Stardom
both.
museum,
Yes, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think
Poorly
you'd have
planned,
all
you
of them.
only have one spot left.
I think it's very fitting, by the way, that Shuri is above both of these because Shuri is
part of all of it.
Shuri's a big reason why. Obviously, this one matters, but this one too.
Yeah.
She's a big reason that helped launch Stardom into super Stardom. All right, we continue on here. Let's go
mark
again.
Those, can we mark the new match?
Oh yeah, you've got to.
And Shuri too.
Yes.
She's come in and she's done some damage here. She's changed the game.
Yeah.
We got some high ones, all Stardom, all old Stardom, notably. Sorry, I had to. Next up, we have the retiring Arisa Nakajima.
Ooh, we were just talking her up. And when you were talking about Shuri, it was like Shuri is very similar in the sense that she's this ass kicker, cold-blooded killer, and boss. But Shuri has always been on a bigger stage. Like more eyes are on there. Arisa Nakajima is like the real Joshi, like deep in the weeds Joshi people. Know her, they love her.
This is a Deep in the Weeds podcast.
It is. But if you become bigger than that,
Yeah.
you get a lot of points.
Yeah, she is.
So I'm not comfortable putting her. I can't. But no, wait. I'm scratch that. Edit that out.
She's a tough one for me because my appreciation for her work is among, again, a very, very short list that I'd put above her in my personal favorites. She has some of the best tag matches, best singles matches the past 15 years in Joshi. But there is a conversation of getting outside the bubble, obviously. But we are the bubble, damn it. We are the bubble.
Okay.
This is the
Fair.
bubble. She's such a hard one to rate on this list, but you put her you put her lineup of great matches against anyone. It's tough. I'd put it against anyone. I think someone like Shuri was probably gonna get the edge because of the stardom aspect of things, and rightfully so. But then it's okay, how much lower can I put someone who, again, I purposely went out of my way when we did that bracket to get her as far as possible because she's that good to me in both tag team and singles, which I think is very important as a pro wrestler.
That's true. Best Friends is one of the best tag teams in
Like,
Joshi history. So
to look at her top 10 on Cage Match, and I know we like to make fun of Ryan for using it, but her top 10, the promotions include JWP, Seedling, Ice Ribbon, and Stardom. She has checked all the boxes of greatness in multiple companies against some of the best ever, right? She has a all-timer with Io Shirai, which you can go have fun hunting, but you can go find it. She has great matches with Kana. One of the best matches I've ever seen is a match with Kana. One of the most physical matches I've ever seen. And then obviously you have tag team matches with Tsukasa Fujimoto, matches against Nanai, Yoshiko, teaming up with Takumi. And obviously the recent matches with Sari the recent match with Sari, we only ever got one, but it was incredible. She's an interesting case because now she's retiring. So I feel like this is a easier one to plant because there's not going to be much more after this. This is
got the full body of work.
Yeah, we got the full body of work, and I want her high on this list. I won't sit here and lie.
Yeah.
I want her high on this list.
I started arguing for her under Shuri, but one thing that I think puts her above Shuri is just the longevity. She's been doing it for a really long time.
At the highest level. In terms of memorable.
So if you just stack up her matches, her impact, I am going to put her above Shuri.
Okay.
That would be the number 4, yeah.
Okay. Trent, what are your feelings on Arisa Nakajima here?
I can't put her above Shuri. I think when you're comparing their careers and stuff, I think if Shuri was to retire this year, and let's hope she doesn't, knock on all of the wood surrounding me. But if Shuri was to retire this year, I think she would go down as the biggest star and have probably ultimately the better catalog of matches still. I think Arisa Nakajima still would be the most underrated Joshi out there, but I think she would still go down as the better wrestler. It'd be a close one, and then you're sort of factoring in what Shuri can still do. But I would be okay with Nakajima going just below her. Whether we put her just below Shuri, I would be okay with. I'm okay with putting her above Grand Queendom, honestly.
All right, so here's my thinking here, and I'll obviously bring it to both of you. The reason I think I would only put her below Shuri is because Shuri's still going to be going. She's still going to be adding, right? And I almost want to account for that, right? We're about to have another 5-star Grand Prix with Shuri. Who knows what's going to be after? Like, when it comes to their resumes, if you put the best, like if you put their top 10s against each other, couldn't tell you who's walking out. I would just put them against each other and put another wrestling match on, and they can do that. But I can't win that one. It's a tough conversation because I think the Edge, and not necessarily because I think Arisa Nakajima at her peak is as good as anyone. I do. But Shuri has a continuity to her, obviously, and she also had the platform, I think, which gives her a difficult edge for me to just sit here and say, because again, I love Nakajima. I want to rate her as highly as possible. But this is Shuri. Shuri is someone that I think had in 2021, 2022, you could put that 2-year span up against anyone almost ever, and we were having a conversation, you know? What years are better between her and pick a wrestler, pick their 2-year run, and let's have a conversation. So I'm gonna side with Trent here, begrudgingly. Not because I don't want to not because me and Trent having a joke here. It's more the Shuri aspect benefits from still being active after this month as well. Knock on wood. No retirement, Shuri. By the way, no, you're not allowed to retire.
Just keep going.
No. Keep going.
Go to Oz Academy when you're 55.
That's fine. That's exactly. Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll watch that.
Yeah. Go train in the Golden Gardens or something if you have to. Like, come on, let's just stay going. You have so many great matches left in you. So I'm gonna put Arisa Nakajima a notch below. But honestly, you talk to me.
You could argue either way.
Yeah.
You want to know how crazy close it is? So I went to my favorite website while you were talking.
Of course.
The just overall rating for the wrestlers. Arisa Nakajima is 9.46 and Shuri is 9.44. So essentially the same number. You could go in right now and change. You could change that last digit.
The one vote would change.
Add one to 110 or whatever. But so it feels justified hearing us be like so pained to do that when it is that close to everyone else.
I think it's also worth noting, which again might help. Shuri has 232 votes. Arisa Nakajima has 95. So
yeah, it's the deep fans.
Yeah,
the real fans.
Yeah,
the real fans.
To me, also, you've got to keep in mind, like Shuri had to lead the biggest Joshi company, like that basically led them in the highest of highs during that period, and
it's a hell of a peak.
It's asking a lot as opposed to just kind of freelancing around, and there's a certain pressure there that you're asking upon her. And when you're doing,
I like this top five
stage. Pardon?
It's looking good.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully, there's a less intense one.
We got a new match. We got a new
match.
match.
One we remember.
It is one we remember because it was very, 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 very recent.
Oh no!
Io Sky versus Tommy Hayashishita from Marigold Summer Destiny 2024.
Oh, okay.
It's a dream match, obviously, and it was great. It was like a dream. Dreamstar. It was like a dream. Truthfully, like watching that match, and I sat there and thought to myself, like, what match would make me happier just to sit through? I don't really care what the quality of it is, though the quality was great. Like, what match would make me happier right now? And it was like the only one I could think of would be like Mayu and Io, obviously. But other than that, I was like, this is everything. Like, this is why Marigold's so exciting in a way. This is why this is just so cool. Like, Io's back in Japan. I take that into the conversation. This was Io's return to Japan in ring, first time in 6 years. And she went out there and it was every bit of Io Shirai. That wasn't Io Sky. That was Io Shirai,
It was fun seeing a lot of people had only seen the WWE version of Io Sky and kind of go, oh, this is what the Joshi fans were talking about when they were talking about how good Io Shirai can be.
Yeah, my favorite tweets were, "Can this EO come back?" And I was like, "No." She literally said in an interview, "No."
Yeah.
Like,
The
I don't do this
reason
when
why
I'm
she
there.
only does this in Japan. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you can get paid that check and not tear your neck up, then what like why not?
And also,
exactly.
like, I think even Utami kind of forgot what EO was capable of. Like,
Yeah,
there was like
yeah.
a minute, like 3 or 4 minutes into the match, it was kind of like Utami was kind of like, oh crap, what did I sign up for? Just being
Yeah, that's true.
overwhelmed by one of the greatest Joshi wrestlers one of the greatest wrestlers to ever exist, quite frankly. There's
Hmm.
just a fluidity to her that I've forgotten. Like, I've watched the Shirai matches for years now, even when she's
Yeah,
been over in America, just rewatching them because she's one of my favorite wrestlers to watch. And just you just forget how good she is when she gets into that flow where
yeah.
she's just going from move to
I
move and chaining everything together.
I think she's the most naturally talented Joshi wrestler ever. Like,
Yeah.
she's just unfair. Like when you have prodigies, we say
Mm.
prodigy all the time. That's actually a prodigy. Like, she goes in there, makes everything look easy,
Mm.
and half she goes to the biggest company in the world and goes maybe 50%, and everyone thinks she's the best there.
Mm.
Like, and then she comes over here, she goes 100, and it's like, oh, right, that's EO. Right.
Yeah.
Like, she's an unfair, but this isn't EO ranking. This is the match ranking. But that's
There's a reason
part of the
why the
match.
Freedom's #1 by
Yeah,
far. Because
that's
this is
part of the match,
1/3 of
right?
what we're talking about. Yeah.
Like, that's part of the
Yeah.
match, though, is being reminded how great EO is.
People were
And
wondering, like, does she still have it in her? Like, that was the question
no,
going in. Like, she's been
Mm.
doing WWE style for years now. Like, are we gonna get? Yeah, we're gonna get it.
Yeah.
yeah, there wasn't. It was all. It was incredible. I can't even.
Mm.
All right. Well, where do we want to put this?
Because this had a
Can we
lot
see
going
where?
for it. Like,
Oh, so I was just see where the other just the matches are.
So we
Utami
got
versus Shuri is in the top 10.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Then the
then
next
we
one
got
down is
this one down here.
Yamashita versus Mizuki.
and then we've also got the pool party, which we did forget to mention when we are talking
Well,
about.
Yes,
that's
that is a
more
match.
than a match. That's beyond the scale of what a
That's
match is.
beyond pro
That's
wrestling.
that's
That's an
different.
experience.
That's why it's the lowest.
As
harsh.
much as like I think personally, I enjoyed Yamashita Mizuki more, just for whatever personal reasons. One of my favorite wrestlers. Just it hit me an emotional, but I can't argue for that being higher than Utami and
The
Io.
dream match.
That's like a dream
Good.
match. This like something that people didn't think could happen. Like
Yeah.
we see a dream match all the time. That is a real one.
Mhm.
I think we're gonna remember it for a long time. Trent could not
Yes.
remember Yamashita Mizuki just now.
Yeah, I don't think Trent's forgetting
That
EO versus
and
Utami.
that's been what
Yeah.
2 years, 2 years. I think in 2 years we're gonna remember Utami Io very
Oh, yeah.
easily. So that
Yeah.
it clears that. So then you have like a lot of spots in between of not
Yeah.
matches. You have some moves. You have Ice Ribbon. Oof.
It's a tough one. We were trying to get an easy one. We didn't get an easy one.
I know. It's the random.
Because it's still so recent, but you said it completely right. Like, it's a match you're gonna remember for years and years. Like, it's in many ways it's the first Marigold match that's gonna be remembered for ever. Like, you think of Stardom's history and what matches live on forever. EO isn't a lot of them. Yes, I know. But like that, in many ways, I think is the first one for that promotion, and I
Yeah.
think that is important. Is that better than a Mirai Lariat? Historically, it will be.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe I'm wrong.
The match
And there's recency
included the
bias here.
moonsault,
It did include the moonsault.
so it has
was,
to be better than the moonsault. It had
right, because
moonsault.
it had the moonsault, so it's got to be better. Is it better
then
than Ice Ribbon?
That is, but I mean, there are so
What's
many
going to be
good
remembered
Ice Ribbon-
longer?
Ice Ribbon is gonna be
Actually,
remembered
ask
longer.
yourself.
Ice Ribbon will probably be remembered longer.
It's been around for so long. So many great stars, so many great matches. I know we have a bad taste in our mouth now of just it's like the seventh
It's
best
like
company.
it's like TNA. That's what Ice Ribbon is. It's TNA.
Oh, that kind
It
of
hits.
hurts.
It might hit rock bottom, but it just keeps kicking
It
forward.
goes forever.
It has some.
But I would
bright
say
spots.
its highs were higher than TNA in terms of the like hierarchy of
Yeah.
in the world that it lives, in the ecosystem of Joshi.
Yeah.
In the Joshi world, it is TNA though, without a doubt. If you're to compare it, it is TNA.
Oh boy.
And AEW fans aren't going to hear this, but Marigold's AEW.
We just need the TNA equivalent of the J-pop equivalent of the Smashing Pumpkins to come along to try and buy it.
Wow.
That would
That'd
be
be fun.
real, actually. That'd be sick. I'm okay with putting it under Ice Ribbon.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot.
Okay. Well, I don't want to fight you there.
Congrats, you won
It
one.
was a great match, but I don't think like in ring it was some legendary, genre defining.
Very good in the ring, but not.
Yeah, it was very good, but like it doesn't have the kind of in ring legacy that the Itami Shuri match does. And its big benefit was the fact that it was a dream match, and we didn't think we were ever going to get it. But
Technically,
yeah,
our first Marigold
as much as
list.
Yeah, first Marigold reference.
There we go.
We're coming up on an hour and a half here. Let's get two more in.
Okay, that's
Two more.
fair.
We've had a healthy batch today.
You've just got to yellow that one too, by the way.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yo.
You're right. You're right. God, stop yelling at me. All right. Well, it's only fitting. Takumi Roha's hair.
Oh, just her hair.
Yeah, not
It's-
Takumi Roha. Full
The
stop. Just her
wrestler?
hair.
No, just her hair.
Her hair
Is
is,
it-
really cool.
Is it better
and-
than the EP? That's has to be the first
Yeah.
question I have to ask. It's
I
literally
think it's
the poster.
better.
And full disclosure, my wife has that length of hair, essentially. And I've been asking her for a long time. I was like, "Can you color it that way? I want you to color it like that.
So
Black and the red." I'm not explaining why.
I
haven't shown her a
She
photo.
weirded out if I was like, "Because it's this wrestler I like," and you would look
Have you
great in
then-
it.
Encouraged her to take up martial arts.
So I have to be the
No.
problem here. She doesn't have that hair anymore.
So her current hair.
She sometimes colors it.
Not
Like,
really.
It's different shades.
Are we
here and
judging?
there.
I think
She just
okay,
had a AAA championship match.
It's different. It is different now.
She didn't have that hair.
But I think we're doing the
It just says
history of her
Takumi
hair.
Roha's
History of her
hair. Just
Right?
says Takumi Roha's hair.
It doesn't
That's-
say current style.
That doesn't it doesn't say old style. You want to
It's
go? We can
all-
play
it's
this game.
It's the hair.
The hair's history. Okay, no, that's fine. I mean, if it's the hair's history, it gets hurt
It's
by
like- it's
not
like a
being
couple of
as cool
styles.
anymore.
It's all short. It's
Oh yeah,
spiky.
it's not going to be S tier. Fair enough, but like
But
it's definitely getting a bump up. For
No,
sure.
it's great hair. It's great hair.
Yeah.
We're talking the peak Takumi here. I
Okay.
guess.
Yes. I feel
It is-
comfortable putting it above ALK.
All right. I mean,
Wow.
I can
Wow.
live with that. We want to do that.
It's getting wild. Yeah. I mean, I can do that. But wait, I don't. Wait. This is
You're
forever.
trying to
This is
encourage
forever
your
before we
wife
do
to
that.
cosplay as Takumi Oroha.
Yeah, I did start with that.
Yeah.
Start with
You
that.
kind of hurt yourself on that one.
Just
It
please
beat-
don't show this to Chihiro Hashimoto. It's
Well, to be
not-
Ironically,
fair-
it sounds like your wife is getting closer to the hair at the moment. So it
To
might
be
easy.
fair, Shihiro Hashimoto is not on here.
well, she's on the team below.
Yeah.
All right, let's do
But
two
he's
more. 'cause
sharing
we
with
flew
you.
through that one. Oh, we got a wrestler again.
This is interesting.
It's the Sun God.
Oh
Sorry.
my god.
Ooh.
And I'm contractually obligated to say she's first.
Literally.
So I'll let you guys debate from there.
So
Well,
basically, the best in the world as of 2024.
Yeah.
I don't think
like
that's
2 years running,
yes,
best in the world.
yes.
Um,
I know we made the Shuri still has years to go debate, but I don't think we can do too much of that when she's as young as she is, because that's kind of unfair trying to
Yeah.
make too much of a prediction moving forward. But
mhm.
she knocking on wood, not intending to retire anytime soon, as far as we know. But yeah, best in the world, basically 2 years running, running her own shows, steadfastly refusing to
Yes.
book anything other than Shinjuku Face, basically laughing at the idea of fire codes by just cramming people into that building. Basically laughing at the face of everyone in Marigold by saying, I'm the ace of a promotion I'm not officially signed in.
hmm
Single-handedly keeping that freelance scene in Japan running strong in many ways. She's high. The one thing kind of going against her, I guess, is she doesn't have the depth of years that the Shuris and Arisa Nakajimas have.
Yeah, especially Nakajima.
Yeah, but she's still damn good. Um,
Her high is high.
yes, the highs
That
are
is
incredibly high.
so tough.
She gets hurt by her WWE run by thinking that, Vince McMahon would give a damn about her.
Hey,
Yeah.
pay some respect to Sari. I'm here. Enough. This is really a weird one because, like, I don't. We might have to cancel this list if she goes anyhow. Like, if she keeps getting better and better. I'm just saying, because this placement could just ruin everything for me.
Yeah, because
Okay,
she has the
mister, we're putting
potential.
hate on the list 2 weeks in.
No, I
Yeah.
understand that, but this is a wrestler. So, like, that I care about. I don't care about hate. I actually don't like hate.
Correct.
I love the Sun God.
He hates hate. That's fine.
Hates hate, which I guess is what I'm
That's
supposed to do.
so as planned,
As planned.
as designed.
You can
Yeah,
bracket 2024.
So listen, I'm not gonna sit here and say we're putting her in the Shuri Nakajima range. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and do that. But part of my discussion of like, oh, we'll put Shuri's 2 years against everybody's, and so I was trying to act like a smartass. Call me by May of 2025, and let me know what Sari's complete 2 years back looks like, because we're getting dangerously close.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to put an active wrestler that's very much in the prime of their career. I'm not gonna lie to you. No idea. Obviously, this is the WWE part. If you watched Sari before the WWE, guess what? She was great.
She was fantastic.
Yeah.
But there's a maturity to her now that she wasn't quite there. And I think her taking a responsibility with the freelance scene, I think it definitely bumps her up as well.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable. Like,
no, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, I guess it's just like whether you're putting her with potential, like I would put her above Aja Kong Zurikan, and then it just comes down to the legacy of some of these other items that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Versus current presence and future potential, which is difficult when you're talking about someone so young.
Scott,
that's where it gets difficult.
Can we put as of 2024? So that when she is like number 9, we don't look like idiots. Because she has the potential to be like in the conversation for greatest of all time.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good idea.
If she's 8, we're like, what were you guys thinking?
Right.
But
No,
she's not
I think
there
that's
now.
fair. I think she, like hate, can get
it has to have
a rebuff down the line type thing.
Yeah.
This will still place there. We won't take this off the list.
No.
Because Shuri's had
where were we
She
more
might
putting
just get a
years.
second listing.
We're putting it here. That's what we
I
said.
think so. Above the
What Trent was
European
saying,
at least.
I think is good.
Oops.
She's so good. She needs to be in her own column,
Yes.
her own
Yeah.
promotion, her own
Above
world,
five.
universe, orbit.
That's my
Okay.
red belt champion, by the way. I just gotta get over the few things I have to say. Check out Tsarism on September second. Shouts out. All right. Well,
That feels less dirty.
yeah, it does. As of 2024. Next up, we're gonna finish up here soon. Let's do. Okay. Oh, come on. We're ending on this one because it's a little emotional for me.
Oh no.
Queen's Quest.
How fitting and depressing.
Very depressing. Very depressing. I'm very depressed now.
Well, we
Thanks,
can
Saya Kamatani.
easily. I think we can start with it's better than the top faction right now is Oedatai, right?
It is.
Yes. So I think it clears that. No question.
Really? Because Oedatai killed Queen's Quest. So by
That
order
shit-
of
no,
dominance, it
no,
should be
no,
below
no,
it.
no. The end of Queen's Quest is right here. Okay, you see this? This is the end of Queen's Quest. No. I will not. I'll not let you disrespect the queens like that. No. Taro Okada did it enough. I won't let you do it too.
Just saying,
You're fired.
Oedatai killed them.
That's a
Speaking of
point.
which-
That's a point for Oedatai. But Oedatai had so many boring years. Like,
Boom. That's
I
true.
mean, they were really cool for a while, and then you were like, okay, when is it? This
Trent,
is,
we've done an entire
Bullet Club.
series about this. They are the most famous faction in Stardom's history. The most known faction in Stardom's history. Most would say the
Okay.
coolest faction in Stardom's history.
Well, I think we both disagree with that. Tokyo Cyber Squad.
I was gonna pick Club Venus. I was actually gonna pick Jungle
Hey.
Salt Nation.
I can't even argue that.
I know, no one can. Shout out Tokyo Cyber Squad. Okay. DDM was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Man, they got some cool factions. They all the ones we just named
They're
no
gone?
longer
Well.
exist. Awesome. Queen's Quest should be respected. That's all I'm saying. And
Okay.
obviously there's some downtime in their run, but there's also the fact that they were pretty much on top of Stardom with a champion most of their run. Whether it was Io on top or Momo on top or Utami on top or Saya Kamatani on top. They always had a top champion for the most part. Obviously, they had a great number of wrestlers that, as me and Trent talked about ad nauseum on the Stardom Road podcast, available on Counter Podcast Network and YouTube. It created a lot of the future for Joshi, right? Like, obviously, Io was Io, but you got Azumi that started really in that group. That's when she started to figure things out. Momo Watanabe, pretty big deal. Hazuki, pretty big deal. That Utami person, pretty big deal. That's it. Oh, and Miyu Amasaki.
And it was like Momo's peak.
Yes.
As much as I love the look and vibe of the Dark Peach, Momo's peak was Queen's Quest. Peak Momo.
Yeah.
So you got to give points for that.
It's a pretty great faction. I don't need to go like super duper high. I'm not saying like I need this to go like top 10. I'm just saying can we respect the group? Thank you.
It's better than the Moonsault. It had the Moonsault constantly. Wait. No.
No. I wouldn't be putting it above the Moonsault personally. I was poking at you guys with the Oedatai thing. I will admit that was fun. I'm okay with it being above Mariah's Lariats.
Okay.
I wouldn't put it above the Moonsault. I know Queen's Quest is very beloved with a lot of people. I don't think it's as cool when you're looking at the full history because there's a lot of stagnation periods, and it suffered from a lot of like just they're there and they're cool because they're just reliant on their top three people. Personally, I wouldn't put above the moonsault, but that's where I'm at.
Hmm. Scott, are
I'm
you
going back to the
in that
original
same?
litmus test.
Yeah. Well, the moonsault didn't have any low periods. If you're going with that argument,
That's
so
true.
I
That
feel
is
that
true.
it's just
Um,
constantly beautiful.
yeah, I think it's fitting that EO is 3 in a row, no matter what here. Um, I think that's funny. Um, it's I've done a podcast on the history of this. There is a lot of nothing in there that you kind of forget about because they look cool. Um,
We literally had to do a lot of research to find, like, oh
yeah,
yeah, stuff actually happened during these
Mm.
periods.
yeah. So I think like they're gonna be the highest faction. But at the end of the day, factions can be tough because factions have, and I also hate the way Queen's Quest ended. So
Mm.
that actually hurts it.
That's points off. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
true.
like it didn't end the right. As much as I say this is the end, and in my heart it will be the end, it wasn't how the actual group ended. It ended because Saya Kamatani turned on Micah, who has no connection to the group whatsoever. Besides fighting both of Aphrodite. Congratulations. So I'm fine with putting under the moonsault. The moonsalt's giving me more memories ultimately
Okay.
in an odd way. But like at the same time, if it wasn't going to be there, it was going to be under the match that was Queen's Quest leader versus Queen's Quest leader.
Yeah,
So,
you
like,
can't go much higher. I wouldn't have pushed it higher than that.
no, and I think that's a good list for this time. Wow, tough. I think that was a successful run. How do you
We
guys
got a
feel about
lot of
this?
top stuff now. Like the top 10 is completely transformed
Yeah.
on year
A
2.
lot of heavy hitters in this years, and not too many really downtrodden stuff.
Well, I'll do better with putting crappy stuff in there next time. Balance it out.
I don't know. It's hard to beat Kaori's quote unquote retirement.
That's true. But this was the Ocean Cyclone Show. I'll let you guys do your plugs. Trent, you can start us off.
You can find me on Twitter /X at OneUpCulture with the 5-Star Grand Prix starting. Well, we'll have started by the time you're watching this. You can go to RazuraMag.com to see my big preview piece. Especially if you're new to Stardom,
Mm-hmm.
all 28 wrestlers are covered, previewed. You can find out what they've been doing, what they're about. You can see plenty of out of date renders and pictures of them because all the wrestlers have been changing their looks over the past couple of weeks, and Stardom don't update their renders on their website. But that's beyond the point. Find out all about what their sort of situation is so you know what they're doing in the tournament. It took a lot of time to get ready. A lot of it's been received really well so far, so I appreciate those who have been reading and sharing it and all of that. I will be watching the tournament to the best of my abilities, maybe working on some pieces in the meantime. I've got a couple of ideas, but depends how inspired I am. The tournament will take up a lot of like focus time. But if I'm not working on stuff during the tournament, I will be after the tournament. So I guess just keep on paying attention to the world of my Twitter, as unexciting as that is.
Ryan?
Yeah, if he didn't plug the 5-star, I would have. It is a really in-depth piece. It also just looks great because he has graphics for everybody, all their stats. It's good for a new fan or a bubble person like ourselves. Also coming out on Wrestler, we have a Yuna Manase interview probably this
Ooh.
week. Just need to clean it up, make it the best it can be. And our monthly roundup of match recommendations, the Reservoir Roundup, is coming. That's a great spot if you just walking into Joshi, you're like, I know the big stuff, but we got a little under the radar stuff going on there too. I am at Ryan Dilbert at Twitter X. No, My brain freezes every time because I'm trying to call it by its new name. It's like EO Sky. I can't say that without thinking about
Ryan
it.
Dilbert at eosky.com.
Yes, just email me there, or I post more on Reservoir Mag more often. It's all Joshi all the time. That's what I do anyway. So there you have it.
You follow me at Scott E Wrestling on Twitter. If you want to check out my YouTube channel, it's at Scott E Wrestling. It's very simple to find. I will be doing daily reviews of the 5-star Grand Prix because I don't know. I've chose suffering. I don't really know. It's not the best
It's the
idea
Lord's
I've ever
work.
had.
Doing the Lord's work.
It's bad actually, but we'll do it anyways. But that's it. That's it. Check out resermag.com if you haven't already. And until next time, see ya.